Going on, Jeromes. Beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up, Ray Petty, OG Jerome. Who are some early midseason or before season players you would like to see the Vikings get if they were to become available? I feel like we still need depth on the defensive line and the secondary. So I think overall, it really depends on what happens in season. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but teams can start off very bad. All of a sudden, they have a fire sale. Teams could start off really good. They become buyers. There could be injuries, right? So knocking on all the wood, hopefully not. But circumstances definitely change because before the Rams game last year, would you ever predict that the Vikings would trade for Cam Robinson midseason? No, probably not. But I think the moves come up as available, and Kwesi, something they have to respect about him is that he's very aggressive about going after things that the team needs. So overall, I think that, God, wouldn't it be the freaking dream? Like the Giants start 0-8, which is certainly possible and plausible. All of a sudden, like, oh, sexy Dexy Lawrence, one time. Don't care that's going to cost 2 first-round picks because they'll be 32-32, baby. That's right. All in. God, that'd be so sexy. So freaking amazing. Right. But yeah, like I said, I know it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but it really does depend. I think overall, before heading into training camp right now, I think that the Vikings are going to stand pat. Outside of maybe some bottom of the roster churning and burning, like bringing on Vershawn Lee over Bubba Bolden, I don't see any major moves. Like I just don't see Jair. I just don't see Jalen Ramsey at this point. Just don't see it. Next, C-Boy. Will the Vikings run more slants and quick passes this year instead of those long developing plays? So that has been something that's been missing from the Kevin O'Connell playbook, the quick game. And it really showed up in the Lions and Rams game the second time around, where offensive line wasn't doing much, and Darnold was just all over the place, footwork-wise. And maybe it would have been better just to get the ball out of his hand, get some confidence, get it going, right? And the Vikings, so a mandate for the Vikings receivers is that they have to be able to block downfield outside of Addison, even though Addison's got it better, right? So these tunnel screens, these bubble screens, certainly something that the Vikings could get more involved in. The tight end screens that we should never talk about again, but also just like the quick screen or the slow screen game with the running backs out of the backfield. I think that's something that the Vikings certainly could and should look at, and also the fact that you do have a guy like Ty Felton. And a big part of his skill set, besides deep speed, take the top off the defense, a lot of his damage at Maryland was done on short, intermediate, just get him the ball type routes. He breaks a tackle, and then yards after the catch, he has that home run speed. So also you look at Rondale Moore. That's a bit of his game as well. So I think that the one factor here is that it hasn't really been a part of Kevin O'Connell's offense, and also it's not really part of J.J. McCarthy's offense either, since he came from a pro-style offense in Michigan. And the hallmarks of those quick throws or RPO looks, I mean that's really college offense. Now, if McCarthy had come from a college offense that was really based on that, say like Bo Nix, then yeah, you could see a more integration of that. But we'll see. Like I would love to see it, frankly, and that's something that has been missing, right? Like the quick slants, the quick screens, all that stuff. Hopefully we'll get the quick game going, right? But also the fact that you're going to have an FU offensive line, those 5 and 7 step drops and long developing play action look a little bit sexier. Next, Gavin Burns. How long do you think it will take J.J. McCarthy to fully understand Kevin O'Connell's playbook? Right away. I think it'll be a decent start or rocky to begin. Just looking forward to his growth. So obviously there'll always be growing pains with the first year starting quarterback who's only 22 years young. But Kevin O'Connell's been, even last year in camp, he was very adamant that McCarthy wasn't treated with kid gloves whatsoever. Like he got the same playbook as Mullins, he got the same playbook as Darnold, and he had the same expectations. And J.J. McCarthy welcomes that because pressure is a privilege, right? And we point this out too. Like in training camp, you would think that a 21-year-old rookie, just 3 years removed from high school, getting a sophisticated NFL playbook thrown in your lap, and you have to go up against Brian Flores' defense every single day. You think that you'd be pooping bricks, or you couldn't get a BB through there. But McCarthy was loose before practice because that's what you can do when you're prepared. And J.J. McCarthy was prepared. So I think that it'll be a lot more of the ancillary stuff like audibling at the line of scrimmage. Like maybe he'll have that freedom right away, maybe not. Maybe it'll just be 2 plays, a run and a pass versus multiple audible options, as well as calling line protections. That's something that doesn't really get thought about much for a quarterback. A lot of veteran quarterbacks do call protections, especially if they have a young center. But with Ryan Kelly in place to begin with, I think that Kelly will likely call protections, or it'll be a split responsibility. And I'm sure McCarthy will learn a ton from a veteran like Ryan Kelly. So I think that's where things will start. But I have no concerns whatsoever that he'll be able to have the full command within end of the season. Probably that. Maddie Fisher, one of my favorite questions. Best football movies of all time: Rudy, Radio, Invincible, Longest Yard, Waterboy, Remember the Titans, We Are Marshall, Draft Day, Better Like Beckham, The Blind Side. So the true story about The Blind Side kind of ruins it for me. Nah, I'm just playing. But there's a lot of really good football movies. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a major fan of Any Given Sunday just because of the over the top nature of it. I'm Al Pacino, and if we don't got that inch, we ain't gonna win. Story of my life. Hoo-ah. Right? Willie, my name is Willie. Willie Beeman. Jamie Foxx. Come on, man. Also, do you know that Diddy was supposed to be the quarterback in that movie? Didn't work out. Probably a good thing, because then the movie, I could still watch the movie. It's good. Lawrence Taylor was literally just Lawrence Taylor. Jim Brown was in the movie. Jim Brown was in that movie as defensive coordinator. It's kind of wild, man. Plus, I did not know that Latimer from The Program played the guard, number 69. That's fantastic. So Any Given Sunday, Varsity Blues, it's a fantastic one as well. Friday Night Lights is great. Now, here's what's cool. So the wife and I just started Landman. So we are Taylor Sheridan fans, even though he ruined the last half of the season for Yellowstone, but I digress. But of course, the head coach in Friday Night Lights, a movie, was Billy Bob Thornton playing Coach Gaines. And in the first episode, they actually go to Permian, because it's set in Midland, Odessa, out in the oil country, and they attend like the spring game at Permian. Like, I just wanted one line from Billy Bob Thornton, who, like we said, played the coach in the movie. It's just like, that coach don't know what he's doing. I just wanted just one little fan service like that. Yeah. And then Blindside was good. Also, I love that Saban basically plays himself. So Gridiron Gang. Never really saw Radio. Greater is really good. It's about, name escapes me, but he's a Bullworth. Bullsworth? Walk-on offensive lineman at Arkansas. Became like an All-American. Was drafted second round by the Colts. Really sadly died in a car accident before he was able to play in the NFL. Just that movie kind of got to me. It did. We Are Marshall. All right. True story of Marshall, the Thunder and her being able to pick themselves up after that tragic plane crash, as well as, the program. The program is just stupid, but it's really kind of hilarious. When the Game Stands Tall, it wasn't a good movie, but it's a really good book about Bob Ladouceur and the powerhouse that they have out in California. They just run the veer over and over and over again. Maurice Jones-Drew played on that team. He made a cameo in the movie. American Underdog was bad. It was just bad. It didn't even think it was Kurt Warner. It was just Chuck. It was just Chuck wearing a Kurt Warner jersey. Yeah, it wasn't great. Longest Yard, I think, is massively underrated. So, talked about this weekend. Like, Adam Sandler either does amazing movies or terrible movies. There really is no in between, right? So, some all-time great Adam Sandler movies. Hustle, I think, is great. Uncut Gems. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. The Wedding Singer is really fantastic. But then, like, all the other movies they did with Netflix, not so much. Grown Ups, I wasn't a fan of, but yeah. A little bit dated, but I'm sure North Dallas 40 is a great movie. Just not really my cup of tea. Little Giants, when I was a kid, that was a good movie, man. All right, so there's tons of fantastic football movies, but if I had to pick a top three, I would go Any Given Sunday. I would go Varsity Blues. And probably Longest Yard. Yeah, the Sandler version. Burt Reynolds in there. Rest in power. It's good. Lastly, Todd Haysbrook, OG Jerome. What rule would you love to implement into the NFL that you think would elevate the game? Removing onside kicks and putting in 4th and 15. So they've experimented with this back when the Pro Bowl was tackle. And I think the XFL had some of this too, where So onside kicks have like a 4% success rate, and let's completely ignore that one of the successful onside kicks last year was against the Vikings by the Bears. That stupid overtime game. But 4th and 15 is more exciting, right? And just get rid of a very low percentage play. And what's the conversion rate on 4th and 15? What, 7%? Or at least give yourself a fighting chance. Because also, this would be a unique 4th and 15 because it wouldn't be like most 4th and 15s, even though most 4th and 15s would happen later in the game, is that, hey, when you need this, in all likelihood in fourth quarter, like teams are going to be tired and defense is going to be susceptible. And so basically what the rule is, you start off at your 35 or wherever you want to be, and you have a first down, or is it 25? Doesn't matter. Yeah, it must be the 25. So you start off at your own 25. You need to get to the 40 or a penalty or whatever. And if you pick up the first down, you keep the ball. If not, turnover on downs. So that's exactly what it should be. Remove the onside kick. It was fun for a while. It's not fun anymore. Just 4th and 15, an actual football play, and there will be heroes. But, of course, you know what's going to happen. Right? So the NFL, whoever decides is going to win that week, they're going to get away with murder if they're on defense. Or if they're on offense, they'll be like, oh, defensive holding, 5 yards, automatic first down. That's what it'll be. Exactly it. Anyways, that's it. Q&A this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.